Hey guys, what's up? It's Damnation here, and I'm joined by Caleb, Bad Cruising, Ross, and we got Vlad here as well.
What's up, fellas?
So, how's it going, Elmer? I should say, not Vlad.
Yeah, as the fellas know, I got out of my hunting blind about 2 minutes before airtime, so I'm completely resplendent in Elmer Fuddwear, which is why I'm not on camera tonight. Nobody needs to see that, not even me.
Yeah, so Vlad has bagged a few six packs and some cable television today, and he's now ready to take a break from that. Oh my goodness! So what? It's November 16th, and this is episode 16. Let me get some screen share slide stuff going on here, and we'll get right into it. Let's see. As we all know, we got a whole crap ton of repeat campaigns. We're going to go over them really quickly for anybody who intends to do them, or there could even be some people out there who might be doing them for the first time. You know, we don't know what everybody else's games are like and what they're currently doing, so we just go through them quickly, explain, tell you what's going on and the prizes, and then if you want to do them, you can do them. So, defensive arts, go. Defensive arts, go.
I think he might have stepped away. I can go over this defensive arts if you'd like here.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, we have what we have in the defensive arts campaign. We have in prize pack one. We're going the entire campaign is going for the charged armors, and so just the different prize packs will change the armors. The first one is going to be the charged C1 MX3, the missile charged armor. The second pack will be the C1CO. The third pack will be then the C1X explosive armor, and that's just basically it. And I think the fleets we're going to use for that would be the assault fleet is recommended. So I myself use the Skyfires, but I know that other people use their other fleets, but that's what I would recommend for as myself.
I know. I've done, well, as you can tell by what the complete check mark there is, I've done prize pack one so far. That's all the farther I've gotten. I used my Phoenixes. It was fairly easy. If I recall, prize pack two wasn't that bad. I think three is where it kind of starts to get a little bit difficult, if I remember correct.
But does anybody remember, is Rudolph in here anywhere?
I want to say he's in prize pack 3, but I can't remember 100% for sure.
Well, the one thing that I had a lot of success with when I went through this the first time, I seem to remember Rudolph hiding in there, was I like using the Skyfires mostly, but you can work around Rudolph and pretty much set it up so that's all that's left in the target without necessarily engaging that Hulk. And then come in with the missile fleet, the Phoenix, or even Apollos. Though, if you haven't updated your Apollos with charged armor, you're probably going to get smacked around.
Well,
the UAVs are pretty much useless against the Rudolph. I guess somebody's got a way you can pin them up against a wall, and I just never had the patience for that. I just come in with the other fleet.
Well, yeah. I mean, also, if you like with the Rudolph, if you ever just want to do it like totally damage free, if you take your Fangtooth in there, get it at the right angle so you're not in that circle when it pops up, and you can just like set it up, start firing at him, go get a cup of coffee, make some popcorn, do whatever you want. Come back. Probably by then he'll be done. You don't have to worry about surfacing with Fangtooth if you have them. So that's another way.
I tried it with my ghost crawler once, and that went poorly for me, so I didn't go in with subs again. I think part of the problem there is my ghost crawler is too easy to detect because I haven't got a full load of armor on it yet, and once it gets detected, it dies pretty quick.
Yeah.
See, now I'm the same way. I have the Skyfires also, so I don't have the Phoenix fleet. I like the Skyfires though, and every time I see that Rudolph, I work around it, just like you were saying. And but what I do bring in the Fangtooths every time. A fleet of Fangtooth does seem to really to get it no problem. But you just always, I always have to watch the timer for some reason on some of these. I don't know if it's me or what.
I know I myself, I don't even know if I'm gonna do prize pack 3 even, because I'm actually fairly well stocked on X-Charged armors at the moment. So I mean, this is a campaign that for a lot of people is going to be totally optional. My personal opinion, if you have like 15 or more of charged armors that you have in your stock and haven't used yet, I don't think this is something you need to do. But that's my opinion.
I agree. But on the same token, for some people, look at the, these charged armors times 4, times 5, times 3. That's a lot of raid points that you do not have to get if you're buying these still in the events.
Yeah. I mean, if you're behind on your charged armors, you definitely want to take advantage of these campaigns and get as far as you can to get them.
Right.
Particularly the CO, which is still. Well, the CO armor is still very expensive too. I think it was $7 million a copy last week.
Oh no, that was the CT armor.
I'm sorry, it was the CT. You're right.
The CO in the raid at all, because that's kind of had its heyday and come and gone. So, but yeah, that's defensive arts. Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, Carter Arms, Monolith, and Icebreaker. We'll go over these super quick. I mean, we've done them 5 million freaking times. If you don't know how to do them by now, I don't know what to tell you. But
right, we got the prize pack 1. You're gonna get the monolith itself, along with the siege mortar D85D and the precision napalm detonator. Now, in the prize pack 2 is where you're going to start picking up the tokens. So you're going to pick up a 1-day monolith build token times 3 and 4 6,500 BXP monolith tokens. So prize pack 3 is where you're going to pick up the gridiron monolith. You'll pick up 5 1-day monolith build tokens, 5 1-day gridiron monolith tokens, and then 5,000 gridiron monolith BXP tokens for that one. So if I can remember right, I think this wasn't too bad. I pulled out I used the icebreakers, but my icebreakers they are retrofitted rather high, So, but we've all done this before. I think it's the same. I hope it's the same at least, and I'm not telling you wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could see potentially being difficult would be like the last prize pack for people if they didn't already have icebreakers and monoliths, But at least the monolith itself is in that first prize pack, pretty easy to obtain. So you could just, get that far, build monoliths, and quite frankly, you want to build a Zelos tank more than likely for your monoliths anyway, and not a gridiron. So. But the best thing about it is the tokens for any refits we're going to have to do for yet another incarnation of the FM, which we'll get more into later.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this. Is the big thing I see here is the tokens that go towards a refit. And even if you already have a stock of tokens, you never know when there's going to be an escalation weapon released. And it's nice to be able to just pop that on there with tokens, having them in stock. So, well, yes, I would say if you have a monolith fleet done, this is certainly optional. There's nothing wrong with banking those tokens against a rainy day.
Well, I'll be honest, at this point, if I see yet a third escalation weapon for monoliths, I'll probably quit the freaking game.
Well, we got to remember, for those of us that scrapped our fleets, we can get it back again.
That's true. I would definitely be among those people. I definitely scrap my monos because the speed up and slow down function, and now that that's gone, which we'll talk about later, considering.
But here's your chance to get more tokens, and then we do have call to arms icebreakers next here, and it's going to be the same as we've seen in the past. Prize pack 1, we're going to pick up the Garrison battery, the MKX, the siege rockets, the 1-day icebreaker build tokens ×3. And in prize pack 2, you're going to pick up the icebreaker blueprint itself, the siege rockets, the new, I think it's the D100V, the expanded, I'm not sure even how to, Familiation? I'm not sure how to say it.
Fulmination.
Fulmination payload. And then a 5 1-day icebreaker build tokens. And then in prize pack 3, you're going to pick up 10 of the icebreaker build tokens. So that's quite a few. And then you pick up 8 5,000 ranking tokens. You're going to pick up 1 charged M armor along with that. In prize pack 4 is the big one. Now that you're pick up the Visago icebreaker, you're going to pick up 2 Visago 5,000 ranking tokens and 10 day build tokens for that hull. You're going to also pick up 5 more regular icebreaker build tokens, and then 2 more charged M's. So this is a really good one for these exact refits that everyone's needing to do.
It was funny. I actually had to do this campaign the whole way to the end this time because I needed more Visago tokens to undo my refit that I refit last, like 2 weeks ago. You know, I made sure I had all the tokens to do and undo on my regular icebreakers, and then it got to my Visago, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I hope none of you laugh. I've never built the icebreakers or the monoliths.
Really? Neither one. I can definitely see it, though, because, you know, ballistic Zelos seem to do the job that both of those fleets do just fine. So I can understand that.
Yeah, I actually have 2 full icebreaker fleets, so I plan on doing this one just to replenish all the tokens I used in the refit last week, because I'm pretty much down to 0 because I had double the refit.
Hey, you fancy giving me one? Save me building them?
You know, I actually built the second icebreaker fleet completely with tokens. It was
why don't you just build a third one, and then, you know, you'll have an icebreaker fleet for all occasions.
No, 2's enough.
They're expensive to repair, is why, really.
That was the reason I built the second fleet, is because they were expensive to repair. And what I was doing under the old FM was I was just plowing through it and pretty much ignoring the repairs and then sleeping on it. And, you know, I get an 8-hour repair on one. When I woke up to go to work, I'd flip it over and repair the other one when I was at work. And when I get home the next day, they were both completely repaired.
Oh, let's be honest. At the rate we're getting icebreaker tokens, you don't have to worry about repairing them. You use it. When it dies, you just scrap it and build another one. But yeah, that's both Call to Arms campaigns. Best thing about them, like we said, is just the ability to get all those extra tokens to do your refit.
Correct.
So okay, we got some hunger. Some people out there are hungry. Caleb, are you back at this point? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm right here.
All right, take it away, mister.
Let me get this screen up a minute.
No, so you're there. You're just not prepared. That's what you say.
Yeah. The hunger, you can use icebreaker, monolith, Empyreans, which I used just a minute ago just to do it and run through. The uranium reverse or something.
Now
the launcher.
I imagine for the garrison part of that, you can also use those ballistic Zeloses, huh?
No.
No, you can't? Why not?
I tried it. They died.
Oh, okay.
Because they got the
they had the long range.
The hunters in there.
Oh, gotcha.
Which don't seem to die with the ballistics.
Gotcha.
So my fleet's down now for like nearly a day.
Okay, gotcha. So, but if you would kill all the buildings and then retreat to bring in a different fleet to kill the boats, you could probably do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool deal. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No problem. The Fliston launcher for prize pack 2, you get that, and the incinerator 2,500. VXP token. You get 3 of them, and the mystery prize is the worst because it gets harder again. What was that, Hellfire?
I said the mastery prize, not the mystery prize.
Yeah. Leave me alone. It's late here.
Right. True enough. True enough.
There, the incinerator. You got to run this prize pack. You get all 5 incinerators, and you've got to run it 5 times as well to get their 6-day incinerator build token. Which I've not done a single round apart from the first one, so I get a reminder what it was like.
I want to say, if I recall, I think for most of these TLCs, I know when it came to the base hitting part, I had gluttonies, and I was able to do them like stupid easy. If you had mud gluts, it's not a problem at all. For those who are try to quote unquote do it honest, I want to say I think if you changed spites through this base, that might have worked, or it was probably either spites or prides. One of those two probably worked really well for this.
So basically,
I remember that
hall.
I did it all with mud gluts, and they were it was pretty easy. Watch your timer, don't get caught in range. You can do it for free. It is a grind doing it that way, though. You're going to be actively driving all evening, trying to get through 5 sets of mastery prize. But I guess if you've got the time, you can do it without spending any repairs, which is a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, nothing says you have to do all 5 mastery packs in one night either.
That's absolutely true.
So that's it for hunger. Then we got plunder.
The one thing I wanted to mention about all 3 of these, I believe you're still on a blueprint limit of 5. So if you've run through and done these before, you're not going to get a second set.
No, but you get the tokens to refill.
You do get the tokens to refill. I know that when they came out with the Liberator, I don't know if Liberator is one of these. I tried to get a second set of Liberators, and that was no go.
I'm just logging in the game just for shits and giggles to check the limit to see if it has a result, just to be on the safe side. But you're probably right.
The last time I done that, I was getting hit.
Yeah, Vlad's right. I tried the Liberator. I don't know about anything else, but I tried that on myself on the Liberator also, and it's a no. There was a limit of 5.
Yeah, I definitely know that's true. The last time they brought this out, I'm just checking to see if that held true. Actually, we have a limit
in the Forsaken Council.
We have a limit of 10 now. We have a limit of 10 now.
Oh my!
Oh, we do.
Yes.
Sweet.
Okay. Good. Yes.
And you there, I'm assuming that's TSM with the wrong set of clothes on, is what I'm assuming. So thanks, buddy. So plunder. Let's go over that super quick.
Now in a plunder campaign where it's priced, we're going to use the this one's going to be the skirmish hull it's going to be 1, 3, and 5. So you want to use I would use the Fang Tooth, I guess, and then the Conqueror hull for 4 and 6 in each attack number. So, and I recommend the Gluttony also, I believe is what I used. So for price pack 1.
Nope, it's a Conqueror hull.
Yeah, Gluttony is a Conqueror hull.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gluttony is.
Yeah, so he's right. You can use the Gluttony to do the
okay. So the ballistic recoil suppressor is for price pack 1. The price pack 2, you get the Emancipator turret, which is a really good turret these days. You still want to have one of these turrets, and you're going to get a lot of.
Hang on one second. I do want to interject. If you don't have the Emancipator turret, do this campaign at least the prize pack 2 to get that thing and put it in your base, because it's one of the few turrets that's like doing anything to King's Ritz at the moment. So you definitely want to have that in your base. Yeah,
it's actually it can do a lot to a lot of things with it. when it's placed correctly. But it is a top tier turret these days, and for a price pack 2 prize, it's a darn good one. You're also going to get a survivor token in the same prize pack for that one, and it's quite a large one. It's a 20,000 VXP, so you get that times 3. It's pretty good ranking right there alone, without even going to the mastery. And then the mastery is where you're going to pick up the survivor hall, and you're going to pick up 6-day build token with that. Now this hall, it's really good, and it's used to. I mean, we've all seen this campaign before, so but it's a good hall to have. Its attributes go to the rest of your fleet. I haven't had that much success with it myself, as far as using it as a one-on-one attacker or defender. However, the attributes it can transfer to the rest of your fleet is pretty nice.
I know that this used to be like a really, really, really good support ship when hyenas were big. I'm not sure if it's quite as good now that hyenas have kind of gone away in favor of stuff like emancipators and other things. But you know, it's definitely still not a bad hull to get a hold of, especially if you're able to do the campaign fairly easy. And was there one more for this group? Yeah, Homeland, and that's where you get the Liberator.
Okay, and then Homeland, and then so Homeland's is Garrison. So we're going to use the icebreakers again for this one here. Price pack 1, the SSKP enhancement. Price pack 2, you're going to pick up the Hyena missile turret. Now this is a top tier turret also, so you're going to want this now. And mini hulls.
Do you think that's as top tier as what it used to be, though? Really?
It can be. I mean, in all honesty, with I think the latest release of the Twin Blade, if you really want to take a Twin Blade down, you can take the Hyena missile. So I think as far as top tier as the Twin Blade attacking hull is, this is just as good as for defending against that.
Yeah, most of the little guys got the Twin Blade from the raid because they were real cheap.
Yeah. True. Okay.
And that's a good point also, though, to do these campaigns. If you are a medium player or whatever, and you're just now getting a chance to get these items, and if you have a chance to pick these up in these campaigns, that's a lot less grinding you have to do in these raids. And so, I mean, give it a shot. Even if you're not sure you're going to use it or not, mark it off the list. So things you need to get during an event.
All right. Anybody have anything else they want to say about the campaigns? I mean, they're all repeats, and we've kind of covered most of it. We've actually spent a little bit more time on them than what I had originally planned. So, anybody else have any closing things about them?
No.
Yeah, if you can do them, try and get to the turrets, if that's all you can get to.
Yeah, turrets are always good. Turrets are definitely always good. Okay, we're going to move on to one bit of what I thought personally was really amazing news, something that I hated, and they finally got rid of it, was they made some changes to improve our experience with monoliths. They've removed the speed up, slow down mechanics from the monoliths and the gridiron, and they have increased their turn and combat speed to that of the Zelos. They did a little typo there, but I corrected it verbally. So, why it took 6 months for it to finally happen, I'm not sure, because we've all been complaining about this for 6 months. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. They finally did it, and I, for one, am ecstatic about it because I hated that mechanic. Anybody else have any thoughts?
I scrapped mine because of it. So,
yeah,
no.
You and I are in the same boat there. Or in the same.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't scrap it, but I basically didn't use my monoliths for anything, mostly because of that problem. And as we look forward and start talking about the new FM, seems like the monoliths are going to be pretty useful in that. So they changed it.
Let's start talking about the new FM format. Obviously, anybody who's gone out and done it, they've seen there's some changes have happened. You know, we now have track carriers in the higher targets as part of the base guard instead of the rhinos on steroids. They've done some change out to the target payouts to help cut down on the seat time a little bit. I really like seeing what they've done down here for the lower guys. I mean, like, you know, look at the level 40. It went from only paying out 150 points up to 2,500 points. That's a pretty big increase. And the 61 going from 1,200 to 5,000. And the 68 went from 4,000 to 10,000. The 82 went from 10,000 to 20,000. And the 89 went from 30,000 to 55,000. The 103 went from 60,000 to 80,000. The new 111, obviously, it wasn't there before, so it didn't have any old points at all, but it now pays out 150,000 points. And the 115s went from 250K to 300,000. So one thing to keep in mind, though, that the 111s are not going to be there forever. They are just a transitionary thing to get everybody used to, like, that stepping stone from the 103 to the 115. They put that in there for a little while to get everybody kind of used to this stuff. So, but I mean, I think the increase in the points payouts, especially for a lot of the slower stuff, was an amazing thing that they did. And I think we always say that they don't do anything to help the low guys. I think in this one particular case, that is something that will help the low guys a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many times today in comms I've seen, do you see any 115s? Do you see any 111s? Do you see any 115s? Do you see any 111s? If you are not aware in your locator, there is now a thing for Forsaken mission targets. You don't have to ask everybody where targets are. You just open it up and go look, and lo and behold, you click on the button and it will take you where you want to go. You will arrive at the promised land. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So anybody who didn't know that, now you know. And know exactly.
I'm going to jump to you just to keep repeating that in comms now.
That's okay. I don't read comms half the time anyway. So, something else to notice. I noticed a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, I didn't see this token in the prizes and this token in the prizes." If you look down here on, I think it's tier 2 and 3 both. I'm not sure what other tiers. I think maybe 4 too, but I'm not 100% sure. If you look, there is a little arrow right here that takes you over to other prizes that are in that row at the top. So make sure you check that out and don't miss stuff that you might be wanting. And we got some new prizes. Heavy Garwood Gatling gun. No.
I can go with a Gatling gun here. We got that. Now it's a heavy Garwood Gatling gun. It's a depth charge, so concussive weapon. It's going to grant you armor points, so 2,500 armor points. It weighs 2,400 tons, so it's a heavy weapon. Projectile speed is now listed at 750. Comparatively, it's pretty fast compared to the new stats that we've been seeing. The splash is 10, spread is 5. Now the range is 95, so it's good range. Damage is 64,000, so that's just huge. And the submerged damage is exactly the same. It has a salvo of 10, but the reload time is 12. So, you know, you're looking at a large reload time, but just a huge damage. Huge weight. Ship deflection, it adds also 250. Explosive defense is 25%. Concussive defense is 25%. So that's actually pretty good on the explosive and concussive. It gets you bonus combat speed 50%. So that's great. That's huge, you know. So we're talking about a very strong weapon. Very strong.
Well, I have to ask, with heavy in the title, does it require a heavy weapon slot? Is it truly a heavy weapon, or is it just a weighty weapon?
It's a heavy weapon.
It is a heavy weapon. And it's only for a generalist hull. I'm sorry if I skipped over that.
That's probably why it says right there in the description, this is a heavy weapon.
Yeah, he probably didn't.
Yeah, well, I'm remember, I mean, my car looking at my iPhone screen. I can't really read any of the writing.
No, see,
Right.
well, if you would have got one of them iPhone X's, it would have been big enough that you could have seen.
Yeah, well, now that I'm officially old, I can't see anything.
Well, there you go. So there's no helping you then, basically, is what you're saying.
Now,
I tacked on a fresh 0 last week, so I'm officially old.
There you
now.
go. Yeah,
nice.
but you'll only be able to go on in periods because they're the only generalist that has a heavy weapon slot at the moment.
Now, this does have a wind-up also under the special abilities listed. So, similar to the other Gatling gun.
I mean, you know, look, stats-wise, it looks amazing, but let's be honest. Do you think anybody's going to build a fleet of these?
It's, no.
Me either.
I mean, look, it looks great, but wow.
Yeah, it's one of those, looks good on paper, but it'll probably never see any actual physical use in the game.
Right.
At the moment.
Well, we'll see some. You know, there'll be, you know, a couple out there.
I don't know. Is anybody using generalists to do the current raid cycle? I haven't seen anybody.
I have seen a couple, and they're just one heck of a nice fleet. It's amazing. They're doing a really good job. But, you know, I don't know if it's worth the 4 months the build time to build it, or, you know, I don't know. It's well over a day repair if something goes bad. So
I know personally, not for me. That's
right.
what.
Now, and we do have another weapon actually. So we have the Wolf's Tooth Depth Charge, and it's just another strong weapon. It's going to be a depth charge concussive type. Also, the weight on this one is 495 tons, so this is very heavy. Projectile speed is a little lower, 425. Splash is 15. Spread is 100. Now the range is 93. The damage on this is 13,650. So it's great in damage. I mean, it really is. Salvo is 3. Reload time is 8. So it does have, you know, it's got kind of a high reload time. Heavy weight also. Submerged damage matches the damage of not submerged. The wall damage is listed at 682, very low. But this is a good weapon here too. It's got as far as reload is slow, and it's heavy. That would be the downfall.
I don't know. Any of you guys who are using hunters, are you going to refit to this?
1 or 2 would be okay, I reckon.
I'll use them as I've been building hunters only with tokens, and so I definitely don't have them built yet, so I can use this. It would be nice.
I might.
I have.
Sorry, go ahead, bud.
I say I have a hunter fleet done, except for 2 spots of armor on each hull, and I obviously it's not up in Huggies yet, and I want to see it in Huggies to be able to play with it because I'm much more comfortable playing with Huggies than I am with the designer in the shipyard. But from my standpoint, it looked like the weights are just not going to work out correctly, that you're going to have to give up a couple. I'm already giving up, I think, 1 spot on each of my hunters already where I have a weapon slot that's unfilled for weight. These are going to be 2 or 3, and by the time you do that, the extra damage may not be useful because you're giving up the extra the additional weapons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I want to have a chance to try to work up a build in Huggies before I just come out and say nope. But my knee-jerk response to it is that it's probably going to be a wash by the time you get done with the weight.
I think the way mine are set up right now, I could potentially drop 1 houndstooth and put on 1 wolf's tooth and not have to do any other changes, and that may end up being what I do. It depends on what else I got going on in my shipyard and whether I want to give up that time. I just, you know, I know for the last, 2 raid cycles where we had escalation weapons, I did not equip the escalation weapons, and I still managed to get through it. So I tends to make me believe, while these may end up being nice, I don't think they're an absolute necessity. At least for the Wolves too. We'll talk about the torpedo here in a little bit. So what else we got? Callum, we got the alloy panels. Are you there, Callum? All right. Well, we got alloy panel CTM. They're going to go on your defensive turrets, and they're going to offer you 45% corrosive, concussive defense, and 45% penetrating defense. And they will consume 12% of armor power. So there's that one. And then I think I hear Kalen back, so he can go over the torpedoes now.
Yeah, the Nightmare torpedo is going to be good for mixing with your torps you got on your Fangtooth right now. I've already started doing that, refilling my fangs with at least 1 or 2 on. It's Scourge, Tech Scourge, Tier 6. It weighs 575, so it's kind of heavy a little. Projectile speed is 140, accuracy is 100, range is 88, damage is 4,200, reload time is 8, it's a little slow. Wall damage is 42, building damage is 42. The visibility range is special abilities of it. It's secondary weapon trigger chance 0.2. The trigger cooldown is 10 seconds. And the weapon jam jurisdiction is 3 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the trigger chance, the cooldown, and the weapon jam duration are all the same as what they are on the current torps, correct?
I think so. I'll get it up on BP now.
I know the damage on these is looking really good, though. I mean, 4,200 damage is pretty tight and pretty nice. But each individual is going to have to look and see, okay, well, do I have the time to refit, and do I want to use that time to refit? You might not have to necessarily go like all out, even if you can just put a couple on each one of your fangs, that'll get your DPS up there. So, like I said, that's something each individual has to take into consideration for themselves. But if you have the time, or you got the tokens, or you have the whatever to put them on, I think it's definitely worth it.
I think this is another one we're going to have to look at your total weight and determine if the mix is better for you, or if you're better off with just the original ones. Like you, I didn't really, the last escalation weapons, I didn't fit them because it just, by the time I got done with the weight involved, I wasn't gaining anything. I was just losing shipyard time. So,
yeah, for me,
this is another one that I'm going to want to plug into Huggies before I make any sound or any pronouncements on which is better.
Yeah, I would say that because this one you're going to have those exact same issues. I'm looking at just on the game now. Compared to 450 tons, that's a huge increase in weight on each slot when you're looking at overall weapons. So you'll have to do some math just to figure out if it's worth it or not. And you look, these aren't going to go on quick either, I don't think. I'm not totally certain on the exact build time, but I can't imagine these are fast.
I don't know for sure off the top of my head. I'm guessing they would probably run around that anywhere from that 12 to 18 hour mark as well, I guess. But don't quote me on that because I don't have that number memorized. That just seems to be kind of what they're running average right now on weapons. So I made that assumption. And you know what they say about when you make an assumption.
No, but we all know it's look at the weight. This is going to be this isn't going to be 8 hours, so we're going to have to take that.
If somebody's got their shipyard available, you can go into the design feature And even if you don't haven't claimed this prize yet, you can still use it as part of the design feature and pull up the exact build time. I just, like I said, I don't have my game up right now, and I can't load the game from my circumstance. So.
No.
Because I actually looked at putting these, of all things, putting them on the Ghost Crawler, where weight really isn't a problem for me. And I seem to remember that it was the time, the build time, that was stopping me from doing that.
We also got a new VXP weekend coming. Imagine that.
Oh, great.
It'll be from 9 a.m. tomorrow to Monday, 9 a.m.
It sucks because you can't retreat.
What's that? What was that,
It
Caleb?
sucks you can't retreat in the VXP.
Well, yeah, we haven't gotten that far yet. Yeah, but that's going to be an issue. You're going to have your regular robot raiders. You're going to have your regular cargos paying out twice the amount of VXP as regular, and they'll have a skirmish level 60 target as well that'll spawn the entire time. And then you're going to have a level 100 that's only going to spawn for the normal 36 hours. And as Caleb was just saying, you cannot retreat from this target. So you will either go in and kill it, or you will go in and die, or you will go in and do whatever you want to do and then waste 12, 10, 9 minutes, whatever, waiting for it to time out.
And given the fact that almost all of us use salties in combination with VXP weekend, as you're sitting there waiting out the timer, you're wasting your salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So they want
to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't get this. To me, this is a blatant money grab. They don't want people going in and out, in and out, in and out, getting max VXP like we had been. And to me, this is just like a blatant money grab, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't want us to retreat and go and repair, or they just want us to kill the whole thing, so we can't leave anything in there to kill just after it ends.
And like another thing that disappointed me was, the best of my knowledge, and it has not been, they haven't said otherwise anywhere, is they're not going to have the Defender VXP tokens again this time. I kind of, silly me, I thought, hey, last time I thought, hey, they did something really good, and hopefully this is going to be something that sticks around. Boy, I should have known better. I should have known better. So,
Well, your fault.
I mean, I think this VXP weekend is going to suck ass, my personal opinion.
I don't, it used to be actually the one time that I really did coin, to tell you the truth, the way the raids are going, I've slowed down my coining in the raid, honestly, and but I do coin on the VXP. The more they do things like you cannot retreat from this target, the less I participate. So I just will find other ways to rank.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you now have to not only take damage, but do damage as well to gain your full VXP is very not conductive to running into these targets and suiciding your fleets. So, I don't know. That's a bad idea.
I've been on record ever since they came out with the VXP weekend that it was the best. If you were going to spend coin, it was the best place to do it, because you got the most bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. And it seems like each month they back away from it being as good of a value as it was the month before. And this just seems like another step in that direction, where it's going to make the VXP weekend not as good a value as it was last month, when it wasn't as good a value as it was the month before, and so on. And
right.
The one thing I will say about VXP is legendary fleets are more fun to play with than unranked fleets.
Well, let me follow up on that real quick, because I'll be honest, VXP weekend has always pissed me off, because the VXP weekend in the first place was meant to address something that they totally screwed up by inept programming which was at 75%. You didn't get 75% reload. You got 400% reload. And they broke the freaking game because they were incompetent. And instead of actually going in and fixing it, they're like, here, we will fix this. So, but it's gotten to the point now where we're having to pay for their error. And that is way, way, way fucked up, if you ask me.
You know, and you're absolutely right that it was somebody who, I don't know if it was programming incompetence or if it was just somebody that didn't have a basic understanding on how math works. But going from 100 to 400 or 100 to 175%, same thing as going from 100 to 25%, which is how they got themselves in the mess that they're in. And the VXP weekend basically fixed the problem, at least temporarily. You know, if you're going to expect everybody to have legendary fleets, then and you're going to tune for that 400% reload bonus, then give people an easy and economical way to get there. And if you're going to make a couple bucks on it, I'm not even going to fuss about it. But it went from, you know, like making $5 on it to making $10 on it. Now it's a significant investment. Rank a fleet, and it shouldn't be for exactly what Damnation said. This is all a fix to screw up because somebody didn't understand math. And they were happy to fix their math problems when it came to screwing over, you know, submarines and bases or whatever else that it was that they did. But in this particular case, they stuck with it. Frankly, I think the reason they stuck with it was because before VXP weekend, they had people, you know, coining the crap out of the rank, and it was a big funding source.
Just to let you know, to fit the new tour is 9 hours.
Oh, nice. So it's actually...
That's not bad. It's not bad.
9 hours really isn't bad.
And there's a lot more damage than the normal one that we first got with the fangs.
But a lot greater weight.
Okay, I think that's it for the slide part. Let's talk a little bit about the, let's do a little cleanup action on the raid. What did everybody think about the raid? How'd your raid go? Was it easy? Was it hard? Did you get everything you wanted? Vlad, we'll start with you.
I'm glad I got my hunters at least mostly done. I still, those who've been following me know that I have hardware issues, and the game is now hardware that kind of dependent on it. But I kind of enjoyed running the hunters through. I still think that they're asking way too much seat time for the raid. It should not. You should not have to devote a whole weekend to playing it to get the prizes that you need to be successful going forward. I think it's telling that if you claimed all of the charged armor that was offered, it was 100 million in points, where if you claimed the new ship, special and weapon, it was only 40 million. And I think that says all that we need to say about what's important in the raid, what they're expecting us to have, and where the problem is with the seat time. And I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said over and over about the last 10 months worth of raids since they came out with charged armor. But I claimed everything I wanted to claim, and I got it done, and it was a grind. I didn't have fun, but I did it.
Can I go back to the torpedoes a minute? The torpedo, the first one we got was 450 ton, and the other one is 575 ton, so it's 125 difference.
Yeah. So, like, I can't remember if we're going to go back to that, back on the Fang tubes. I can't remember how much extra weight I had left over on my build. I want to say I think Fang builds are actually pretty tight, which was kind of unusual for a sub. Oh, yeah. Wise anyway.
Yeah, I'm actually to weight. So,
how'd your raid go, Ross?
Oh, my raid went okay. I guess it went very different for me than a normal. I scored I don't know, maybe 1/3 the points. I just don't. I am myself. I was a big fan of the 1-coin blitz. I'm not a fan of the 5-coin blitz. I don't do it. I don't do 40 hours of seat time. I don't have that kind of. I love the game. I just I'm not willing to actually dedicate 40 hours to a blueprint on a video game. I'm somebody that I'd rather purchase it or whatever. I just think that the seat times just was off the chart, and I won't do it. So I scored, under 200 million, and I know that seems a lot, but I usually score 2 to 3 times or 2 times, that. Honestly, I usually I get every prize there is offered, but.
Well, I'll say this though, like one of the best things to me that came out of this raid was it was not like the past several raids where we had to get 500, 600 million points. You could get 200 million points and have pretty much everything.
Right. No, you could. I agree on that. I don't know.
That's a huge benefit, in my opinion, this raid.
Yeah, you still couldn't target, or ships still shot at me when they were near walls and I couldn't shoot them. It's been a problem for months. So that was upsetting to me. So that was it. I mean, I'm just gonna. I truly am. I just am not participating as much as I used to, by choice, I guess, because of lack of fun.
Caleb, what about you? How'd your raid go?
My raid, it went okay. I got the gluttony and the weapons for it, and that was about it. I didn't get anything else.
Gotcha. Me personally, my raid went pretty good. Seat time, I didn't find seat time that bad in this one. I did nothing but hunter targets, and I was able to go in, do them fairly quickly, and then I would just let them slow repair for like an hour or whatever, go do something else, and come back and go do another one, and then go do something else for an hour or so. So I didn't find this particular raid that bad at all. Some of the things like anybody who was actually driving the Fangtooth target, they would have every right to complain about the size of that target and seat time for that thing, because that thing was monstrous.
That's what I'm talking about. And along with being an alliance leader and needing to prep for other people. So I'm having to run around through these targets that I don't even hit for my own points, right? Because I'm not going to hit and spend time actually hitting level 80 targets. But I have to prep them now because the other targets are in the towers. Well, I don't have to. I choose to for lower players. Well, that was just absolutely horrible for me to run around through 3 of these targets to get that amount of points for somebody else. So that's where I was getting the seat time mostly from. In all honesty, was what I was getting out of the prepping.
Yeah, my understanding had been from the last raid that they were actually going to re-add in where the S targets can be prepped again this last raid, and I don't know what happened there. They changed their mind, or they forgot about it, or what the deal was.
Why don't they take them out of the towers and just put them back on the map? It'd be a lot easier.
I don't know if it has anything to do with it's. The only thing I can think is when you're doing it in the target, it's easier to know, okay, this is the target for the hunters and this is the target for the fangs. Whereas if you're doing it on the map, I could easily see people losing track or not paying attention, clicking the wrong shit, and taking the wrong fleet in and getting it totally killed off. That's the only thing I can see.
Well, I managed to do to lose a fang and a hunter fleet in just that manner. On one and ended up in the other, and by the time I realized it was too late to fix.
Right, but
they definitely had them locked down this time. That you did not want to take fangs in the hunter target, and you did not want to take hunters in the fang target.
Correct.
I took my fangs in the it hurt.
Yeah, it was bad. I tried it too. Even though it says not to, you got to give it a shot. It didn't go well.
And
Um,
I haven't heard enough about this, but can we lose the thorn damage? It's bad enough that we have to spend all the time kiting these targets, but if you don't kite it perfectly and you end up and you kill it, not only do you take the damage from its weapons, but the thorn damage. Damage I was taking to my subs was thorn damage. Can we just get rid of it, please?
Get rid of the
Reminds me of when we first had Hell Race and we had that
plasma.
I don't even remember what they call it. Yeah, the plasma damage. It's exactly what the thorn damage is reminding me of. And we all bitched a blue streak about plasma, and there hasn't been a lot said about the thorn damage. But it's basically the same shit.
Okay, we only got about 4 minutes left. I do want to kind of wrap it up on time tonight, just because, and I'm going to go into this now, I suppose. It's for those of you who don't know, tonight is Battle Vortex's last show. They're wrapping it up. So, if for nothing else, I personally would like to thank Fear for having ever formed Battle Vortex, because if it wasn't for Battle Vortex, none of these shows would have ever gotten probably happened. My show, the TFC show, the Crib show, they all inadvertently, indirectly, or directly formed from Battle Vortex. So I personally would like to thank Fear for bringing that whole platform to this game and allowing all these shows to expand from it. And it's a real shame to see that show have to end, especially when it didn't have to, but somebody's ego wouldn't allow it to go on without them. But I will say, apparently they're having a bunch of special guests over there tonight. So, you might want to, when you're done watching us, go over, check it out, see what's going on. Never know, you might even get to see a grown man cry. So, hey, it might be worth checking out and seeing what's going on.
But anyway. I'd like to say that I was associated with Battle Vortex for close to 3 years, and I produced a show for almost 2, and been relatively silent on the circumstances of my leaving the show, and I'm not really sure that this is the venue in which
it's not
to air what happened and what didn't happen. But I will say this: being on shows like this and my association with the other show has been rewarding parts of playing the game over the last couple of years. Because let's face it, the game was a lot more fun 6 years ago than it is now. But I've appreciated the opportunity that I've had to be a voice for the players. And had it not been for my association with Battle Vortex, that wouldn't have happened. So I am grateful for the opportunity I've had to become a voice for the community. So that's good job. Sorry to see it go. I wish it didn't. If I could have stopped it from happening, I would have. But it is what it is, and they are who they are. So we will feel the even if you don't watch the show every week, we are all going to feel the absence of Battle Vortex in the community.
But on the bright side, there are other shows out there that are going to continue going on and will carry on bringing you your news and your information and your opinions and using our voice to try to help fight for what you want. Whether we're successful or not is always a big crapshoot, but we try, and that's all we can do.
And good looks, and don't forget the good looks.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's good for tonight. We were going to get a little bit more into the FM targets. I'll just wrap that up real quick by saying I'm seeing probably about a 30-70% split. 30% of the people are adapting, overcoming, and like the target. 70% of the people still hate them, but everybody still thinks it's too much seat time.
Yep.
I think that probably wraps up how everybody feels about it on the panel, I would assume.
I'm part of the 70% that thinks that they're too much, but more importantly is the seat time. You've nailed it there. That's the big concern. And the other concern that I have is now if they want to make it even more seat time, all they have to do is bump up the prices to claim the targets or to claim the prizes, where that was not an issue before. The tier was what it was, so you had a definitive number, and that's not. We don't have that assurance anymore. Yeah, we'll see if they respect the seat time, or if that number starts creeping up, just like the raid prize number crept up.
Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, guys. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it for this show, and we will see you next week. Thanks for coming in. Hit like, hit subscribe, share us on your pages, tell your friends about us if they're not already watching. Laters.
Yep. We'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.